My mom said move out over Christmas dinner. So I did, and she told everyone I abandoned her. Word count, 1,500 words. Snow was falling softly that Christmas Eve, blanketing the world outside in a hushed white calm. Inside the dimly lit dining room of our modest family home, the warm glow of the chandelier illuminated a table full of food, glazed ham, mashed potatoes, cranberry sauce, and my mother's famous pecan pie. It should have been perfect. But the tension in the air was so thick, you could carve it like the turkey. I was 24. Just graduated college. Still looking for a steady job. I'd moved back in with Mom a few months ago to save money while I figured things out. It was supposed to be temporary, but for Mom, every day I stayed felt like a stain on her image of success. You need to stop living off me, she said suddenly, her voice sharp as the carving knife she'd just set down. The whole room fell quiet. My fork froze halfway to my mouth. I looked around at the table. My aunt and uncle awkwardly shifted in their seats. My younger cousin stared wide-eyed, sensing this wasn't the kind of adult conversation they were supposed to hear. I'm not living off you, I said quietly. I cook. I clean. I contribute when I can. You're still here, aren't you? She snapped. I didn't raise a freeloader. Maybe if you had a little more drive, you'd have your own place by now. The words hit like cold water. I stood, more out of instinct than anger. Okay, I said, trying to stay calm. I'll go. What? She blinked. You want me out? I'll go. Tonight. I could feel everyone's eyes on me as I walked to my room, grabbed my duffel bag, stuffed in a few clothes, and walked out. Not a single word from her. Not stop, not wait, not even a whisper of regret. I slept in my car that night. No one knew. I didn't tell anyone, not even my best friend, not even my dad who lived 3 states away. I didn't want pity. I just wanted peace. A week later, I started crashing on a coworker's couch. I picked up more shifts at the coffee shop, applied to every job I could, and eventually landed a full-time gig doing freelance design work. I was scraping by, but at least I was standing on my own feet. Then came the Facebook posts. She left me all alone on Christmas, Mom wrote, tagging distant relatives, neighbors, and friends. After everything I sacrificed, she just walked out. Abandoned me. It's like I don't even have a daughter anymore. People commented in droves. How ungrateful. What a shame. After all a mother does. And just like that, I became the villain in a story I hadn't written. I cried that night, ugly, chest-heaving sobs into a borrowed pillow. Not because I was homeless. Not because I was broke. But because I couldn't understand how someone who was supposed to love me could paint me as the monster. Months passed. Spring turned to summer. I found a tiny studio apartment above a laundromat. It wasn't much, but it was mine. I even adopted a stray cat I named Tinsel, found shivering behind a dumpster. We were both trying to rebuild from the cold. I never blocked my mom. I kept checking her posts, even though each one chipped away at my heart. Birthday came and went. Not a word from her. Then Thanksgiving. Nothing. But in early December, I got a call. From the hospital. Your mother was admitted with a mild stroke, the nurse explained. She's stable, but she doesn't have anyone listed for support. You're her emergency contact. I should have felt vindicated. I should have said no. But I didn't. I took the next bus home. When I walked into the hospital room, I saw a woman I barely recognized. Pale. Thinner. Worn down. Her eyes fluttered open as I approached, and for a moment, silence hung between us like fog. You came, she whispered. I did. She looked away. Thought you hated me. I didn't hate you, I said gently. I just couldn't keep being hurt. A tear rolled down her cheek. I was scared. Watching you struggle reminded me of my own failures. I wanted to push you to fly, but I pushed too hard. You told the world I abandoned you. She nodded, ashamed. It was easier to say I was left behind than admit I'd driven you away. I took a deep breath. That wasn't fair to me. I know, she whispered. And I'm sorry. She reached for my hand. For the first time in almost a year, I let her hold it. The weeks that followed weren't like a movie. There wasn't instant healing or a perfect reunion. But something shifted. She apologized more, genuinely, not just for the past year, but for all the years she'd placed perfection above connection. And I, in turn, saw the loneliness behind her pride. She had raised me alone. Sacrificed more than I'd ever known. She had her own wounds, ones she never let anyone see. We started talking again. Slowly. Carefully. Like learning to dance after stepping on each other's toes too many times. Then, on Christmas Eve, I invited her over. Just her and me. No decorations. No grand gestures. Just soup, a small tree, and tinsel curled up in her lap. I never thought I'd spend another Christmas with you, she said softly. I didn't either, I replied. She looked around my small apartment. You've made a good life for yourself. I'm proud of you. That meant more than I expected. More than she could know. Later that night, she asked if she could post something on Facebook. I nodded. She typed slowly, tears in her eyes. A year ago, I made a mistake that almost cost me my daughter. I let pride and fear dictate my words. But she didn't abandon me, I pushed her away. And still, she came back. That's love. That's grace. If you're reading this and have someone to forgive, don't wait until it's too late. Say the words. Open the door. Love them while you can. The comments this time were different. Thank you for your honesty. So brave of you to share. Hope you too find healing. We did. One step at a time. Sometimes, family isn't just about blood, it's about rebuilding bridges, even the ones we burned ourselves. And sometimes, the most powerful kind of love isn't the one that never leaves, but the one that chooses to return, despite everything. That Christmas, we didn't exchange presents. We exchanged forgiveness. And that, I've come to believe, is the greatest gift of all.